Good afternoon, everyone. How are you all?
Good, thanks. Hi, Simon.
Hey, Simon. Hey, Jenny.
Everyone had a good day today?
Thanks, how are you?
It's been good, yeah, thanks. I went for a run today and set my PB on a particular course, which I was pretty happy with. I did the DNA. I'm guessing you'll be familiar with park runs in the UK?
Yes, done a couple of those as well, so...
Yeah, got a PB on my course, which is one of the slowest ones in the country because it's got 300 foot of climb over 5k. So yeah, I was pretty happy I did it in about 26:40, I think it was.
Well, congratulations, Simon.
Cool.
Thanks. Frumple, did you say you've got the wheel ready to pick the location?
The wheel... Actually, I'll put it on stream. Oh, that's the agenda. There we go. Yep, the wheel's ready to go. So, I don't know when you want to... You could do it just before the start of the meeting, if you'd like.
Yeah, just wanted to check that I didn't have to get it ready now, but if you're good to go, then we're good. Then we're good. So I have got how many absentee ballots have I got? I've got 4 absentee ballots. However, one of those is from Sesh Penguin, who only gave 1-word responses, whereas previously we've said that for a vote to be counted, there has to be some kind of narrative with it. So realistically, there is 3 absentee ballots which will be taken forward.
Yeah, Sesh didn't get... we never told Sesh that how absentee ballots should be written, so this is understandable. We'll have to just remind him. Especially this meeting has a lot of complicated issues. I think we're going to be here for, I'd say, at least an hour or 2.
I think so.
Okay, it looks like people are pouring in. Just wait for a few more.
So yeah, but
I might.
So we're currently on 16 staff members, which means in order to have our quorum, we would need 9 votes in total. We've got 3 absentees, so we'd need at least 6 staff present who haven't given an absentee. So hopefully we can get at least one more person on. I think Alpha has said that they'll be on shortly.
And Foot's here too.
And Foot, great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Foot's in the audience.
And Needon's here too. Who's that? I don't know who that is. What is name I haven't seen in a while.
I will go ahead and give a ping in staff.
We need someone to take minutes. DNA, do you want to do it, or do you want me to do it? Or someone else even?
I can do it if we need it.
Okay, thanks.
That is the top of the hour. While we're waiting for a few more staff to join, do you want to spin the wheel, Rumble, and we can get set up in wherever we're going?
All right. So if you look on Frumple TV stream, I'm not streaming Discord. There's a spinny wheel. This is all suggested locations. It's there's a Discord thread for it. So you want to add other locations, you can put it in there. But we're gonna spin the wheel and see where we are for this meeting.
Now to wait for the 30-second delay until it comes on stream.
I've activated the transcription bot. It seems to have a bit of a delay on it, but that's normal.
Okay. Well, I can see the result. The wheel says the slums of Alantropa. I don't know where that is. You have to look at the town list or something.
Aplantropa is not a registered town on the town list.
Great. Is it on the wiki, maybe? Actually, also, who made that suggestion is also a good thing. Let's see.
We need people to give coordinates when they submit a topic.
Man, that's a good idea.
We really do. Next suggestion then, maybe?
Okay, so Ginty Order submitted that, so... Let's check the wiki here. Okay, there's no wiki page for this.
And Ginty does not have a home there by the looks of it.
That's even weirder. I'm almost tempted to maybe disqualify this location since we can't even find it. Does anyone in chat perhaps know where it is?
And there's nothing that flags up with /warp Atlantropa.
That's even worse.
And we just spin the wheel again.
Yeah, let's spin the wheel again. We like spinning wheels. Ginty.
Discord is not helping.
Okay, high choice. Here we go. Alright. Alright, here we go. Platypus Valley Civic Center Zanzobiak. That's whose town is that?
I am in Zanzobiak. I think it's Times.
Definitely
It
time
is.
2.
Ah. Oh,
And the Civic Centre.
Time's lucky because he had his hotel contest last meeting. Now he gets to this location too.
Civic Commons. This looks like the Civic Centre.
Is there a place to build in this?
I'm thinking it's this theatre.
There's a lot of armor stands there.
Oh
People
no,
might...
that's the Civic Theatre.
Yeah, no, it's...
The Civic Centre.
No, it says Civic Theater. It says
Civic Theatre.
Yeah, Platypus Valley, Civic Theater, Zanzobic, so we are in the right spot. Okay,
I'm sure these armour stands are protected.
I'm surprised Time
Yeah.
chose this. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Well, if you want to come and witness the GSM in game, please teleport to Fromplori.
Actually, don't teleport to me because I need to restart my Minecraft because of OBS, so just teleport to Simon. I'll be back in a sec here.
And we've got a good amount of staff on now, which is excellent.
Oh,
9 staff plus 3 absentee ballots. If you let me know when you're good to go, Frumple, we'll start when your OBS is ready again.
I think I managed to do it without crashing it, so I think we're good to go. Yeah, go for it.
Oh, brilliant. In which case, welcome everyone to the September 2024 GSM, held today on the 14th of September at 7 PM UTC. Quite a few topics today. We've got 3 candidates for the conductor rank, that being Rainbow Slime, Inksby, and PTLD. And then we'll be getting into quite a few community issues, so maybe a somewhat lengthy meeting with 5 community issues on there. But without further ado, we're going to be going into our first conductor applicant, which is Rainbow Slime. Now, I've pre-randomised a list of staff, and the way this works for anyone who hasn't been to a GSM before is all staff will initially give a for, a neutral, or against. And then afterwards we go into a discussion where staff may be convinced by other people's statements and may wish to change their votes. At the end of that, we will tally up the votes, and in order to be promoted, a candidate must have greater than 50% votes in favour, and no more than, I forget, is it no more than 3 against votes with the current number of staff?
So it's like 20%. If it comes to that, we'll calculate it, but
We'll work it out,
yeah, it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah. So I have randomised a list of staff, and the first person for Rainbow Slime will be Foot Chicken.
Neutral.
Foot is neutral. 7D has given an absentee ballot of 4. Zwoj. Is Woj there?
So just 4. He just voted 4.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've got too many screens to play around with. Let me move that so I can see Minecraft. Zwoj has voted 4 in game.
Problem to have.
Session Penguin has not submitted a valid ballot. Needon.
4.
Needon is 4. Simon, I am going to be voting neutrally. AP.
Neutral.
Neutral. HVT is not here and has not submitted an absentee ballot. M Polo.
4.
M Polo is 4. DNA.
4.
DNA is 4. Missa has voted absentee neutral. Vicky has not submitted a vote and is not here. Nobody's best friends
Neutral.
is neutral, thank you. Frumple.
Neutral as well.
Skelly is an absentee 4. And last but not least is Alpha.
I'll be voting neutral for now.
Neutral. So at the initial count we have 6 votes in favour, 7 votes neutrally with 0 against. So currently it is leaning towards non-promotion. I'll start by reading out some of the absentee comments. Skelly's comment is saying that this is Rainbow's 4th application for conductor. Skelly has voted for, so the vote doesn't block the staff from promoting him if the consensus leans. However, Skelly does still have reservations about Rainbow's maturity and he fears that he is too young for the position, but still has voted for so as to not adversely harm the votes. Missa has voted neutrally, saying that they are not familiar enough with Rainbow Slime to make a concrete decision. And 7D has voted for, saying that 7D can trust them and has good world edit knowledge and maturity. Open it up now for any comments that people wish to make.
One comment I just want to make is that this is the 4th time Rainbow has tried to go for conductor. First time I think they obviously all failed, but the last 2 times the vote was always at like 2 for, 7 neutral, 1 against. So just to give some historical context, if you voted in any of those previous meetings, you may want to look back and maybe reminisce why you may have voted that way.
I think I'll just mention as well, the second time I think Rainbow went for, or it might be the first actually time they went for conductor, a lot of people voted against or neutral because they had the town building issue where Rainbow was building quite a few towns. And then that sort of got resolved by the next time he'd applied, and one of the reasons we voted more neutrally or against for that application was because they'd joined the Discord multiple times despite being told not to. So
yeah, I will say that's why my vote's neutral this time around. It was against last time, failure to follow staff instructions, but that's an issue I don't think's completely resolved by now, or at least I'm not comfortable enough to say yes at this point. But it's not enough of a thing for me to say against.
Just reading out the comment that Mpolo made in meeting chat. Similar to last time, Mpolo believes that most of staff's concerns have been addressed. Rosetown, which is now Senator, is a clear proof that Rainbow has made efforts to concentrate on one project.
I guess a question I'm going to bring up, I know I voted neutral, but I could be convinced to 4, but are any of the concerns that we have about Rainbow, would that affect them as conductor? Because correct me if I'm wrong, but based on what I'm hearing, it sounds like it's just mostly just a lot of historical baggage about building towns and trying to enter Discord, which haven't really happened recently. So I'm just trying to
say
yeah. Go for
that
it.
Sorry.
No, go for it. Sorry.
I will say that with the building towns and then not working on them, that can have a much larger impact if the person in question has world edit. But I'm also not concerned about that anymore. I'm tempted to change my vote to 4. Not quite ready to do that officially yet, though.
I think I'll say the reason I've sort of changed from 4 since the last year, because I think an adequate amount of time has passed since those 2 things have been a problem. And I think, like Nobody Best Friend said, that I think the town building concern was a concern for me in relation to world edit. I can't remember the exact reasons we gave, but I think that was a concern for becoming conductor. But I think this time I'm happy that enough time has passed since those incidents to vote for.
Pito D is asking when the last 3 applications. I believe they've been in the last. Rainbow's always try to apply with right after the 3-month cooldown. So the last one would have been June, I think. Yeah, and then the last one before that would have been February, March, somewhere around there.
Would have been March, yeah, and then.
Reading Zuja's comment, and I'm in strong favor of Slime. I think his maturity has come a long way. Slime has made an effort to address all previous concerns.
I would like to change my vote to 4.
Was that MBF, sorry?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, that's changed from a neutral to a 4.
I think I will change my vote to a 4 as well.
and change. So currently the vote is sitting 7 in favour and 4 neutral votes. Is there anyone else who wishes to change their vote at this stage?
I guess I could change mine to 4 for now.
Sorry, I've got too many screens. Was that who was that? Sorry.
Alpha.
Alpha. Great. Alpha. That is a 4 vote.
So right now it is 9-4 for neutral. If there's any other concerns you want to bring up, now's the time, but I don't know if there are any others.
No, I'm going to keep the vote at neutral for the reasons I've explained earlier.
In which case, we will close the vote there, and with a vote of 9-4 and 4 neutral, Rainbow Slime will be promoted to Conductor.
Foot just changed to 4 as well, so...
Sorry,
10-3.
sorry, with a vote of 10-3 in that case. Moving on, the next candidate we have is Inksby. So I've randomised the list. First up was Missa, who is absentee voted for. Alpha.
Neutral.
Alpha is neutral. Sesh has not submitted a valid vote. Nobody best friends.
Neutral.
Neutral. Zwoj. Zwoj, we are currently voting on Inksby. Zwoj has voted 4 in chat. DNA.
4.
DNA is 4. Frumple.
4.
Frumple is 4. AP.
4.
4. Mpolo.
Also 4.
4. HUT is not present and no absentee. Same for Vicky. Simon, I am voting 4. Skelly has voted 4. 7D has voted 4. Needon.
4.
Needon is 4. And finally, we have Vut. Foot Chicken has voted in favour, so currently that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 votes in favour and 2 votes neutral. A couple of comments there. Skelly has voted 4 because he thinks that Inksby has established themselves as a mature member of the community. I'm changing my sounds down.
Me too. It's on the stream. That's annoying.
Yeah, Skelly has voted 4 because they think that Inksby has established themselves as a mature member of the community and has no concerns. Missa has also voted 4, saying the player has integrated well into the community. And 70 has voted 4, but has said that the playtime is a little worrying, but nothing that would stop him voting in favour. Opening it up to any comments people wish to make.
I think I'm voting neutral for now because of the activity. Because like for August, it seems a little bit on the lower end, but then I wouldn't be opposed to him.
I have the same stance, and in fact, now that I think about it, it's probably fine for me to vote for 4, because given given that all other areas exceed my expectations, I don't feel like that's fair to deny a 4 vote for that reason.
NBF's vote has changed to 4, so currently that is 12-1 to 0. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be much conversation here. This is a pretty unanimous vote. So with that, unless there's any final comments, and I'm not I will read out Mpolo's statement that they've just read in the meeting chat. Inksby is a really friendly and mature member of the community and is happy to vote for.
Yeah, they've established themselves in the community really well.
And Alpha has also changed their vote to 4. In which case, I think we can close the vote there with a unanimous decision, and Inksby will be promoted to Conductor with a vote of 13 in favour, 0 neutral, 0 against.
Hut's voting 2, so you can add another 4 votes as well.
Oh, okay.
14 to 0.
Well done. You're so impressive that we conjured up another vote.
We now move on to the final conductor candidate for this meeting, which is PTLD Knight. Randomise the list, and the first person is 7D, who has absentee voted for. Alpha.
4.
Alpha is 4. Foot. Foot is 4 in game. Skelly has absentee voted 4. Sesh has not submitted a valid vote. Missa has voted absentee 4. Sorry, I've gone quite quickly there. I'll give you a few seconds to catch up if people are writing minutes. Have you got those, DNA?
Yep, got them.
Great. M Polo.
4.
M Polo is 4. HVT, if you're there. HVT is a 4. I'm typing that in game, I'm not typing that in the agenda. There we go. HVT is rated 4. Needon.
4.
Needon is 4. MBF.
4.
Vicky is not present and hasn't submitted an absentee. Zwoj. Zwoj is 4 in game. Simon, I'm voting 4. Frumple.
4.
DNA.
4.
3 admins in a row there. And AP, last but not least.
Completely and utterly 4.
Excellent, thank you very much. That is also a 14 in favour, 0 neutral and 0 against. I don't think we need to go into much discussion, but I will read out the absentee ballots there. As with Rainbow, Skelly has voted 4, so their vote doesn't block a promotion. Does have some reservations about PTLD's activity, but is comfortable with PTLD's personality. Missa has said that PTLD is an established player with whom they do not have any concerns, and 7D says that they can trust PTLD with well-developed knowledge and maturity. Does anyone else wish to make any comments at this stage?
The long-standing member of the community, so they can be trusted by most, and they can and are trusted by most, so that was not grammar.
Mpolo said in chat that PTLD is an established member of the community. Their involvement in many projects is remarkable. Apart from the activity, they have no doubt that PTLD is a good fit for the conductor team. I think with that we can close the votes, and with a unanimous vote of 14 in favour, no neutral and no against, PTLD will be promoted to conductor. Congratulations. That concludes the conductor applications part of this meeting. We're now going to go into community issues, and the first one up is topic 5A, the projects channels revamp from Alpha DS. So Alpha, over to you.
Hello? Okay. So I'm proposing, or I want to start a discussion on revamping the project channels, namely basically changing them to have more descriptive names. So I'm wondering if anyone has any comments at this point.
So I will read one of the absentee votes we've got from Skelly, which is that he is personally only in favour of renaming politics, but P4 politics, given that the other 3 can be used for actual in-game project discussion as they were originally intended. However, he has suggested that if we are going to go through with a rename of multiple channels, that we can still keep the P1, P2, etc. part of it. So I will type into meeting channel what he suggested. So he suggested that sort of format for each of the respective channels.
Okay, right off the bat, I'm gonna say I don't like it. Because just everyone imagine seeing those tags in chat. That's going to take up as well. I mean, it's about the same size as maybe a little bit longer than some of the other tags like meeting and senator you can see in chat right now. But I feel like that's too big. I feel like we need to try to constrain, like not have P1 there, and just call it events, sports, or politics, and just keep it simple. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree with Skelly on that one.
Yeah, I think I'm leaning towards personally not changing things. I think if we're changing the tags, it is going to not make sense why we have the commands as they are with /p1, /p2, etc. I think similar to, well, I do think the only one that would make sense is to rename P4, but even then, I think the majority of members will understand that that's what P4 is for, and yeah, fundamentally, even if P4 is being used for a project, or P4 is still an empty channel, so if someone wants to, they could use it for a project.
Sorry, Simon, could you clarify what you mean there? Because you might miss some discussion in the channel, but one of the issues is new members. So it's kind of an implied rule that P4 is the politics channel, but it's not written anywhere in our rules, or actually anywhere on the server. It is just an unwritten rule. So what's been suggested at least is to ensure that new members know that politics discussion, we'd like to put that in a separate channel. We'd like to actually think of maybe like just getting rid of P4 and just making a new dedicated channel that's called politics and has its own prefix, which I believe in the proposal Alpha suggested would be /X, because there's not really many options when it comes to letters.
So, if it's changing to /X, I don't really see the value in it, because I don't think /X is particularly more descriptive about politics than just /P4 is. If we are concerned about the fact it's not written anywhere, perhaps we consider like a chat etiquette section of the policies and procedures page to mention that. Generally.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, please.
So my thinking on that is I'd rather, if the channel is meant for a specific purpose, in this case politics discussions, it should be extremely obvious that from the channel name itself. I don't think putting it, again, policies, procedures, not our actual, they're just policies, not actual rules. I would admit, like, the best way to communicate the purpose of the channel is the name of the channel. And yes, the letter is not the best. I think, Alva, can you confirm this? I think the reasoning for X is because if we also make a serious channel, that would be /Z. So Z, serious and politics would basically kind of live together, I guess if you look on your keyboard, as /Z and /X. I think that's the only reason, unless there's something else.
So I have done some thinking about this, and I think like P4, kind of as we were talking about, it's like politics is for P4. P4 doesn't per se have to be for politics, though it definitely can be. That's more like we tell, like, if politics is mentioned, we ask members to move to P4, and that is something that is not something new or something. And also to go on about serious real quick, I think that could really easily kind of go into like people gatekeeping what is serious. I would rather do like something different with that. But like, let's focus first on like the project channels and P4. Mm-hmm. But yeah, P4, I think how it works right now works pretty well.
I would disagree. I don't think it is working well. I think there's a lot of confusion from new members who don't know about P4, and they have to learn it. They shouldn't have to learn it from other members in an unwritten fashion. I think we should try to make it as obvious as possible. Like, you're talking politics, go to the politics channel. Don't call it P4 or anything.
I might suggest then, if we decide to rename the channels, which I'll admit I'm kind of in favour now. I think the initial proposal I was a bit against, but I'm in favour. I think we need to have some way of pointing to what the server channels are and kind of what the command is for them and what the purpose is for them when it's not obvious. There is a command /ch list, but that took about 5 minutes of trial and error to find, whereas if we were to, and it just lists what the colour is and the command to get into it, but we could, in theory, similar to how /map gives you the IMAP link, we could put in a thing, maybe an info for a list of channels, do /channels, and there a quick summary of what each channel is.
So just for a technical, okay, I need to turn off my sound because there's too much. Sorry, 1 sec here. All right. So from a technical perspective, chlist is, just so everyone knows, that is a command directly from the VentureChat plugin. It is automatically tied to the channels that we've set up. I can make, as AP suggested, an info command that's not or something. All that is it's a custom essentials command. All it does is output text. The one caveat is anytime we update channels, I'll have to remember to also update that text, which is not a big deal, but it is something just to remember to do.
Yeah, it's a little bit of maintenance overhead, which will probably help will help find the channels for everybody.
Okay. I'll also just add so Alpha's made this huge. It's a big, I guess you could say omnibus proposal. There's a lot of little changes here. You may disagree or agree with some parts. Like, again, some people are saying politics, but not the other channels or something like that. That's fine. Let's try to agree on the things that we can get at least some sort of consensus on. Maybe just the politics channel, and then go from there. We don't have to implement everything today.
So, listening to the arguments, I do understand the concern now about politics. So, yeah, I wouldn't be I wouldn't be an opponent to that specific change. For the others, yeah, I'm similar to, I think it was AP that said about the gatekeeping of Sirius. So,
That wasn't me.
oh, was it who was talking about that?
Needham.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Needham. Yeah. I do agree with that. In which case, I'm not convinced if adding a serious Minecraft channel is of benefit when we do already have allowance for that in the Discords.
So I'll add something to that, just for thought, just for food for thought. There have been some incidents, actually I was involved in one of them, where people maybe like want to vent or rant in public chat, and there are some members who don't want to see that in public chat. So there's been some conflicts around that, and also some thoughts that maybe a serious channel in game might be a good place for that instead of putting it in public chat. So if there's a serious channel in game, then people who are okay with seeing that, they can keep the channel open. But if they don't want to see that, they can opt out. I guess I forgot to mention I think the politics and serious channels, I think we would actually make those by default opt-out channels, so that new members, when they come in, they don't actually see those channels right away. I think that would be only if they want to see them, they can then do / I guess based on Alpha's proposal, /x or /z to enter to join the channel. So yeah. So anyway, that's just a reason why I think a serious channel would be beneficial. does sort of coincide with how we've got the politics and series channels in Discord right now. Anyway, Athena's asking, can we link them through Discord? I don't think that's a good idea. At least I don't see much benefit of doing that right now.
Yeah, if they were added, I wouldn't agree with them linking. I think, yeah, the type of serious discussions that go on in the Discord is significantly more than ranting, and I wouldn't want the flow of the current Discord series channel, for instance, interrupted by random comments, I'll call them, made in game, versus I think seeing them in Discord itself, people are more likely to if they are going to respond, they're more likely to give a more comprehensive response through the Discord means, which is more appropriate.
I mean, there is also the possibility of having a separate Discord channel like we already do for the politics channel. I don't really know how easy that would be.
Sorry, Gina, what do you mean?
Well, assuming we have the P1, P2, P3, P4 channels already on the Discord, so I don't know if we could maybe have a politics-Minecraft channel in addition to the politics channel, or if that would complicate the Discord server a bit too much.
I think that would complicate, because then on the Discord side you would see both, and then probably need to choose which one to put it into. At that point, you might as well have just one Discord channel linked to it. I don't see the reason to split it up into two there.
I'm wondering if any staff member have any opinions on a dedicated events channel, because that's like one channel, like P1 is like one that I've seen used pretty frequently. So I wonder if there are any like strong opinions on that.
My only response to that would be, I can see the benefit in segregating politics and series channel from the quote normal the normal sidebar channels, whereas for events, I think first of all they happen infrequently, so that dedicated channel wouldn't be used regularly, and also it's not something that people would choose to not want to see, and if they didn't want to, they would just be able to leave a specific project channel. So I probably don't agree with a events channel.
I think
for those of the two.
I think the benefit of the events channel is, instead of, it's not necessarily they want to not see events, though some people might not. It's more like if there's an event happening on the server and there are other people who are not participating in the event or have no interest, at least chat will be split, so they can at least see. They can at least see. Okay, this is events. Sorry, what?
No, I agree, but we can do that with the current project channels, and I haven't seen any issue with them going into project channels.
Again, I'm going to go back to what I said before. The point of this, the intention of this, is to make it explicit what the purpose of the channel is. So if there's a dedicated events channel, then people will automatically assume that if I'm running an event or I'm participating in an event, let's go talk in the events channel, not try to choose some arbitrary P1, P2, P3 based on some unwritten rule. So I still think there's benefit there. Yeah.
So my challenge to that is, if multiple events are happening simultaneously, who gets the events channel versus and actually, if let's say we're replacing one of the project channels with it, that would then someone else who's just wanting to have a generic discussion separate to the main Minecraft discussion. So that's one less addition, just like generic channel.
So yeah, we actually discussed it in the Discord topic for this. So yeah, if there is like 2 or more events happening, one, I think it happens extremely rarely, and because usually you don't schedule an event right when something else is going on. And then 2, yes, we did discuss some sort of default channel or overflow channel. It could be the chill channel, which has been kind of an idea that's been floating around, but we're not sure. We weren't sure whether that's a whole other topic, whether we need chill or memes channel, but that might be an option as well, like some sort of extra, or it could be the project channel too, because if we just have a single project channel, that could also act as an overflow if no one's using it.
So my thinking is I'd prefer to have more generic channels rather than specified, because there's so many things that people could want to chat about that other people aren't interested in. And I'm thinking like going into sports, going into news, going into pretty much any. It could even be just a chat between two people who live in the same country about locality things that other people aren't interested in. There's so many things that I think we will end up having more and more arguments about. Oh, how about we add this other channel versus at least the current project format or project channel format means there are 4 generic channels which can handle any kind of discussion. Now, I do see the benefit in putting a separate politics and a separate serious channel, but beyond those, I'm not really seeing any benefit of having these specific channels over just generic chats that can be quickly allocated to a particular topic.
Counter argument to that: if I'm a member on the channel and I have specific tastes, I guess. Let's say I'm not interested in events, but I am interested in sports. Like, having explicit channels allows someone to cater what they want to see. If you have generic channels, again, it's based on unwritten rules, and you could also have just some random conversations in there that would require the person to basically flip on and off the channel when they see that sort of thing. It might not be, maybe it's not a big deal, but I think it's just easier to say, again, make it simple. This channel is for this topic only.
So again, I'm not convinced. Now, I'll take the sports example. Let's say there's a football game and a Formula 1 race at the same time where people are chatting about, well, now they want 2 separate sports channels. Do we add 2 sports channels? A generic channel means we're not going to have to keep going back to this, because we just say, you use it as you wish. And I do see the point about flip-flopping, but from my experience, the project channels aren't used that frequently, so it's not often that members would have to switch.
So isn't the point of having Discords that we have all the different channels there instead of in-game?
Yeah, but people want to talk in-game about these things.
Yeah, we're strictly talking about in-game. Again, some people don't want to talk on Discord. Some people can't talk on Discord, remember. There's some people who aren't allowed to be on Discord or can't. So
I still think there's the issue of just channel over. Like, if there's so many channels in-game and then another 3 dozen in Discord, it's just too much.
Sorry, is your argument that they're adding more channels in-game, that's too many channels? Is that... Sorry, I'm not trying to understand your argument.
It's also just because in game it's single screen chat. If there's too much going on, then you can just open it together. Like, yeah, that doesn't usually happen, but still.
So, to me, again, this is my opinion, but based on maybe not so much for events, sports maybe, but definitely. Well, I guess we should talk about the meme channel. I think Simon, in the past few months, I think you missed all this sort of stuff. But some staff might have seen this, like people. How do I describe this? They share one brain cell. Is the best way I can describe it. They get kind of memey, and there's a lot of, again, skibbity toilet-esque shenanigans. And so, okay, so in this case, some people want to engage in that, and there's in our community some people want to engage in that and others don't. I personally am in the don't camp. I would like to be able to live and chat on the in-game but not deal with it. Now, in the discussion thread we discussed there are 2 possible ways of trying to deal with that. Either should all the meme stuff go into their own separate channel, or should the meme stuff stay in main chat and then make a separate channel for us, I guess, don'ters who want to escape that sort of thing? We never really, unfortunately, we never really decided on a solution there. But I guess my point is, there's definitely, I personally would like to see I want some option to separate those things.
Yeah, I think that I can really see your point, and I agree. I really think that there should be a way for, if there are some people who want to like be on the one brain cell squad, and some people who are not, for them to like, for one to like ignore the other and kind of like go like that. And I think the easiest way for like everyone to be able to read the serious stuff, and without policing what is a meme, what is an okay meme, what is like a meme that like is like one brain cell and which one has actually two, so it's allowed, is for people to go to the serious chat, like the not serious, that's not the chill, where they like have no memes or whatsoever, just kind of like what's it called again, the lo-fi vibes.
But yep.
And so based on that, then you can mute the main chat if that is becoming some kind of like noise. And I'd say, of course, be considerate definitely in the main chat. Like if it's just like only like, if the only thing you're posting is like shit posting, that should not go in there. We have a Discord channel for that. You can send that to friends individually or in like the party group chats. That's not what main is for, but for like occasional like references, and also just, I'd say like just funny stuff that like I think people can generally like, that like people who are not like away from meme culture can sometimes appreciate like occasionally. I think that should be able to go in the main chat without like being police, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So my one rebuttal to that would be, first of all, I dare say that a lot of people that are doing these memes are doing it to get a reaction. So the channel that people are talking in regularly wouldn't make much of a difference. I'm also hesitant to add a like chill channel, because, well, chill channel will just become the new general, and at the point where people are muting the main general channel, well, that should be the main method. And like if chill becomes the norm, well, we don't see all of people's ranks in game, and like, yeah, I'd just be hesitant for something other than the general channel to overtake general.
I would agree with that last point, Simon. Yeah, that hasn't come up yet. Like, chill might just become general, in that sense. Yeah.
It does sound a bit like, I don't know how to say that, but like whataboutism, kind of like, it's kind of like TBH. Theoretically, it could go into that, but like I think the general sense should be that like, if you like just having a joke, having fun, that should not immediately like disqualify you to like the other group. And like it's totally fine to like want like your like chill space. I need that, believe me, I need that sometimes, but I'd rather like be the one going away rather than telling the entire party, the entire life, to say like, okay, you get out of here. That feels kind of like a bad host to me,
kind of exclusionary. Yeah.
If you're wanting that chill space, could you just leave general yourself?
So pretty much that is the current situation. And so instead of like leaving general, which is what would now be, we would pretty much be creating a space for people to like still talk. If there's like a few people that want to talk like that, if we feel like that would work at firstary, we could just nominate that chill chat. I
don't think leaving general chat is a good solution, because the chill chat is not, it's meant for people to, at least in my mind, it's like to try to have a productive conversation, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Like not
Yeah.
not no memes, no distractions, just some like interesting. Like sometimes we do talk about interesting topics. I love those discussions when they happen on MRT, but that only happens like unfortunately 10-20% of the time. The rest is.
And again,
Ultimately-
my fear there is, I understand that you want to go into that chill space, but by wanting that chill space, well, you would then be dragging everyone else into another channel, whereas they may be happy in general.
No. So this is the part we haven't decided yet. We haven't decided whether we to create a meme channel or a chill channel or even both. That's the problem. Like it's a bit it's a difficult problem because again we don't want to feel each group. We don't want to have each group feel excluded. But we also want each group to be able to express themselves. So, it could be the memes stay in general chat and we make a chill channel, or we stay in main chat and they go to their own channel, or we make both channels. I'm not sure what the solution is, but it's I guess the clear point is there is a bit of a problem here. Like it does feel like, at least from my perspective, when I have to see that sort of stuff, I don't know. I can't really participate in chat at that point because it's all stuff that doesn't make sense to me.
So here's my proposal. I seem to be the only opposer here, and I don't wish to hold up proceedings just because of my thoughts when I think people know that I'm going to be going inactive fairly soon for quite a significant period. Shall we take a discussion on or take almost a staff vote on the what seem to be more agreeable proposals when it comes to the politics and the serious channels, and then for the other suggestions, for the other ones we could add for like chill, like sports, like all of the other suggestions, put it up for a community vote.
So one thing to add there, Simon, is what happens to the existing project channels. We also have to decide that. I kind of feel like, I guess we can also debate this. I personally feel like there's only a need for one project channel, because I don't really, because the original intention was to, for people to just go off and make their own projects. I don't see them used that often, so I feel like one should be enough, and then we can add these other channels as we agree upon them. So we can agree to maybe politics or serious now if we think that's okay, and then the other channels we can, as you said, definitely debate them later. But the project channels, we also have to decide what to do with them.
So I think the project channel should form into the wider agreement. So if the community interest is to add a sports channel, to add a music channel, to add any other channel under the sun, then I think there's a much stronger argument for removing the projects. But if actually the community doesn't want to add these specific channels, then actually having more choice of space would be beneficial.
Counter argument to that would mean more overall I do want specific channels, but having more channels than we need, even if it may be temporary, I don't know. I guess my point is I want to try to make these channels tighter to their specific purpose, and that also means reducing the number of channels if we can, so that there's not that many to choose from.
So I think I would say that we take a vote now on politics and serious, and if we do agree to take forward politics, well, we can get rid of P4 because that currently is its only purpose. I think the other three we keep, and once we've got a better understanding of community, we come back together at next month's GSM, and it's straightforward. The community has decided that they want specific channels for this topic, and this topic. Therefore, we believe that the number of remaining projects channels should be this. So I'm saying only vote today on projects and serious, and if we do agree that sorry, agree today on politics and serious. And if we do agree on politics, then we can get rid of P4 in return for creating that politics.
Okay, let's do this. Let's go through this one at a time. I also do want to we have a lot of people in game right now, so I would also just like to just informally poll people as we go through each of these. I would still like to ask if removing the product channels is also part of that too, but we'll get around to that.
So let's go on to politics first. Do we create a dedicated dedicated politics channel other than P4? I haven't randomized the list, so I'll just go down in the order that Discord shows.
I do have some more questions with that though. Is that just like the idea of creating like a channel specifically for politics? Because that's pretty much what we have right now. Is it also like having it like a specific letter? Like what format are we thinking?
So let's go with the proposal made. So Alpha's proposal was using /x for a dedicated politics and getting rid of P4 in response.
So the proposal we're putting forward now is axing P4 for X, making it dedicated to politics. Yeah. Correct?
Correct.
Okay.
PTLD is suggesting I make a poll in meeting live. I guess I could try to quickly make one if I haven't really made one before. Great poll.
Yeah, PTLD renaming P4 is effectively what we're saying. Adding a channel and removing a channel, so it's for the same purpose.
Sorry, are you also voting on whether it should be on the /x or will that be decided later?
Let's just all wrap it into one.
Let's wrap it into. Let's wrap it into one. But I hope some people might disagree with the X part, which we'll see. Let's see duration. I'll say 24 hours. Okay.
I'll format the minutes after the meeting as well.
Okay. Okay, poll is out in the meeting live channel. You cannot see it in game because the poll's actually a very new feature in Discord, so it's not in Discord SRV. Actually, I think.
Yeah, I'm seeing PTLD's thing of /poll. Yeah, we could. I don't think there's any reason why we have to have single letter channel names.
That is a good point. Yeah, actually, I didn't actually think about that. We could. I'm just wondering. There is one. The only problem with that is it could get confusing with project or any of the project channels. But maybe it's actually different enough because P1 to P4, or if we just have one P. I don't know.
I mean, does it really matter if people accidentally type the channel names by mistake? Cause it's not really sensitive discussion at all.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
Unless you want to do a different poll to allow people to, I don't know if Discord can do multiple option selection, but we give people like a few options. Do you want /x? Do you want /poll /politics?
I'll make a separate word, but I do want to just address Foot. Have you not been listening to the conversation so far? Because I think we've made it clear why we want to rename P4 here. Because again, I'll just repeat again. We want to make the channel channel's purpose explicit in its name. P4 is currently an unwritten rule, so that's Oh, okay. PTLD's made a different one. I would not do the whole name politics. PTLD. That's too big of a prefix. 3 letters is probably enough there. Yeah. Oh, Simon mentioned. Okay, I missed that part. Foot says it'd also be weird to have we have P1 to P3 still. Well, we'll decide in a sec, but even then, that's not weird. That's just 3. Now you just have, instead of 4 product channels, you have 3. It would be weird if we like took out P3 and then kept P1, P2, and P4. That would be weird. But this, just getting rid of P4 is fine.
So, shall we just put all of these discussions to a community vote and we just go with a majority? Like, I'd be quite happy with saying we all of the proposals put to individual public votes in meeting live, and in 24 hours, whatever comes out on top, that will be the decision.
Maybe put it somewhere more prominent, like potentially announcements. But
I actually have a different opinion. I kind of just want to... I don't know if I want to deal with... So one problem with polls is they're time limited. And again, my thing is, if you want to do an actual poll of everybody, you can't use the poll system. You have to... Basically, it's a survey channel sort of thing, or a community issue thing. I'm also kind of thinking, I feel like I just want to decide it now at the GSM rather than
so
drag it out.
You put it on for 24 hours, so I thought you had wanted it to run.
That's a default. I just didn't change it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, right now everyone has voted yes for politics, and the majority of votes are for /poll.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'd be quite happy putting that forward as the action for politics. So, rename /p4 to /poll and give it the prefix politics.
Okay.
Okay, so the next one we would vote on, I think, and probably the only one we should vote on today is the only other one we should vote on today is serious. So I think the option should be: do we want serious? Like, what prefix do people think if you want to put it in the meeting live?
SRS is probably a really good one because that's actually
if we're matching /poll.
Well, this is also a what's it called, a mood. It's like /S or /J. Like, it's actually, that's what people use to express, like, oh, they're being serious. So yeah, tone tag. So /SRS would match that.
Yeah, and if we're doing /poll, then SRS would match. So should we do a quick community poll? Yes, no. Do we add it?
I just want to quickly say as well for the serious channel one, I think one of the issues which was brought up in the discussions in the community issues thread was that we don't 100% know what would and would not go in this serious channel, so I'm not really... Do you want to decide that as well, maybe?
No, I don't think we should be too strict about it, because I think that could quickly get complicated, and we'll have a 10-page list of rules around use of a single channel.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I think if I would like to empower the community to say, if there is someone who is getting a bit ranty, then I want it to be I want anyone to be able to challenge him and say, hey, would you mind going into /serious, please?
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. Even with politics, it's a bit subjective. Okay, I'll just let PTLD run the polls because he's making it anyway. Why is yes have no emote? That's weird.
It does. It's just a grey tick which blends in with the background.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, that's bad design.
Well, I think the only thing I'll say is, I suppose my only concern with the serious channel is that we'd maybe see people telling others to go to serious when they're just trying to express themselves or something. Maybe they shouldn't actually go into serious, but I don't know if that's a bridge we'll cross when we get there.
I think it'll definitely happen, DNA, at some point. I think it's already happened in the past, even. Yeah, I don't know how best to solve that, honestly.
I guess we can just deal with it when we get there, I suppose.
Yeah.
So that is looking very...
Sorry, Simon. I'll say, are we replacing your project channel with this, or are we just adding a new channel completely?
No, so this would be a new channel, because currently Sirius doesn't have an equivalent.
Serious poll. And again, go ahead, AP.
No, sorry. Yeah, the suggestion in chat, just to make it clear, of /GSM for the meeting channel. Yes, please. I always forget it's /E.
That's that's a whole other topic. I'm not sure if we'll get to today, but Yeah. Okay, it sounds like I thought there was a no vote for Sirius, but now it's all yes. So
Yeah, so I think we can go ahead and add a serious channel. Then what I would like to do, and this is going to be more than a one meeting issue, but really throw it back over to the community. What if we were to allocate project channels to specific topics? What would you want to see? So would you want to see a / music? Would you want to see a / sports, etc., etc.? And then we can come together at the next GSM to have a look at it, and based on how many bespoke channels people are interested in, we can then have a separate conversation around how many remaining generic projects channels should there be.
To be fair, the only one I don't think there's going to be a music channel at all. I think all the ones that Alpha has listed are the ones that are probably going to be. I don't think there are any other ones after this. It's just more of a question. Again, there's still some questions about how they should be implemented. So for example, so memes or chill, do we implement both? Do we implement one of them? Same thing with events. I think I had a suggestion, like we're merging the meeting and events channels, because then it would be /E. But then I just saw a suggestion saying maybe the the meeting channel should be GSM instead, because that's easier to remember than E. So I think it's more, we'll have another topic of this, but it'll be more focused on those specific channels. We're kind of split. In a way, we're kind of splitting the topic in half, so we're not doing everything today.
In which case, unless anyone else has any remaining comments, we'll close out this discussion. We have agreed that /P4 will be named to /Pol for politics, and we've agreed that a new channel will be added for Sirius, which will be /SRS. Neither of them will be connected between Discord and Minecraft. These are solely Minecraft channels that are being added. And for the remaining suggestions regarding the current use of other project channels, for instance, memes, sports, events, etc., we will be discussing in the next GSM. Does anyone want to add any closing comments before we move on?
Just reiterating this note, the politics and Sirius channels will be opt out by default. So when they get added, you will not. I'll set it up so you won't see them immediately. You have to do /SRS or /Pol to enter the channel.
Okay, I have one more question. So for the Sirius new channel, what color should we use for that channel?
That's a good question.
We will think about it at the time where we are able to add it.
Did you have
a pastel color like the project channels?
Did you have a suggestion, Alpha, in your proposal? I don't know if I see one.
Yeah, I included a few colors that we could consider. It's in the agenda.
Okay. Probably something similar-ish to P4, maybe. I don't know. I think I remember. I remember when I was setting the colors for P1 to P4. They were actually kind of hard to set up because trying to find ones that were distinct enough. So, we'll think of something. I'm not seeing any other comments here.
Can I suggest for the GSM channel to kind of make that decision here and now, because it's a thing that comes up once a month. If we were to decide it next GSM, obviously it wouldn't have any sort of effect until November.
Well, the thing is, we haven't. I mean, I guess if we're going with GSM, are we basically saying that it's going to be a separate channel than events? like, is that what people want? I guess it is better. Yeah, that you don't get the disadvantages of having separate channels like that.
Yeah, I
So
definitely.
has right.
Oh, go ahead.
No, so Foot has rightly pointed out that currently Politic, or rather /P4, does have a Discord equivalent. We've got the project channels, but I completely forgot about them because I keep them muted. But I would suggest that we probably get rid, or rather archive, the projects for
So the Discord
channel. I don't take value in having it linked.
We'll archive project -4 in Discord. There is also the voice project for channel. Based on this decision, it sounds like we're just going to delete project 4, that voice channel there. Yes,
and the text channel above that.
The text channel. Sorry, what?
So under the project channels banner, you've got 4 voice channels and you've got 4 text channels, which are linked through Discord SRV.
Correct. So the text channel project -4 will be archived, and the voice channel, which Niden isn't currently in there for some reason, will be deleted because, it's not needed.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I think in Alpha did bring up the question, like, eventually we'll need to decide what to do. Like, if these project channels are whittled down, we'll probably delete the voice channels there too. There is a side topic of, okay, then where do people go for, maybe they want to go to a different general chat. I'm thinking actually making the, like, under the general voice chat, maybe add some extra channels in there. Like, I don't know, general 2 or something, or some other thing. Just have a different room for people to just pop over if they need to. It's also
I think that can be a good discussion for next month when we're also looking at what bespoke project channels we want.
Actually, Alpha, would you mind, I guess, taking the decisions we've made here? Could you, I guess, write a follow-up proposal just with all the things that are remaining, just so we don't forget? I think actually maybe I guess you make a separate Discord thread even.
Yeah, I can probably make a new community issues for this for the next season.
Yeah, you call it part 2 or something. Yeah.
Okay, I think that concludes 5A. I did see DNA said, can we have a quick break before we go into 5B? And I think given we've been here for over an hour, that's a fair shout. So we'll take 5 minutes here, and we'll jump back into the meeting at 21:17 my local time. So 5 minutes from now.
Okay.
We call it 20 past. Just, make it simplify it a bit. Give people time to put the kettle on.
It doesn't take 5 minutes to boil a cup of coffee, but okay, 20 past. I'm kind.
So I'll go through and reformat all the minutes after the GSM if that's alright.
Oh, Simon, will you have? Do you want to write the GSM results, or do you have time to?
Yeah, I'll be writing them. Yeah, I'll
Okay.
be writing them. Probably tomorrow rather than this evening, but I will.
That's fair. Yeah, there's a lot here. That's a lot of wow. Actually, I just looked at DNA's minutes. That's
And I think I need to break it down into some separate points, to be honest. But
yeah.
Well, we're taking a break. I am going to be back in 2 minutes.
I don't know if maybe for the next topic, if someone else wouldn't mind doing the minutes, though, because I think I have a couple of things to say about that topic. So.
Sure. I could take. Well, I have some. I might have. Well, no, I'm kind of neutral on this one. I'm not sure what. Well, I might have things to say, but I'm not entirely sure which direction it would go. Does any other staff member want to maybe do minutes? Want to try your hand at it?
I mean, if not, I can. Well, I guess I could go back through and watch the GSM later and write the minutes after the GSM. I don't know how possible that is, but.
I guess I'll take over DNA, unless since no one's volunteering here.
You know, I'll happily do this topics after that one, but
No, at the very least, I know the first audit took a while, but at least we're talking about it finally. Because I know it's been.
I know. I think this discussion's been in the making for since about January. I think was the first time we posted something about it. So
Yeah.
So, because it's getting late, I will have to at least sign out from the meeting. I might be in game for a few more minutes, and I'll sign out from that soon as well. Have a great night, and
Yep.
see you all soonish.
Good night. Yep.
yeah,
See you later.
And I am back. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back, Simon.
I have actually put a casual on here, so I'm going to eat humble pie if it's not boiled by 20 past.
We haven't promoted the conductors yet, have we? We could do that right now.
No, we haven't.
Let's see. Okay, I hope to not see a world incident from any of these three, so please don't.
Then we can add them in Discord syncs conductors, isn't it?
It should. They should be automatically added to conductors soonish. The sync only happens like every few minutes, I think. Just might have to wait a bit. If it doesn't, I think the server restart will do it anyway.
I think is Rainbow currently the only conductor without Discord access? I'm not sure.
That is no Pro Call Me Junior.
Oh
also.
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And you wonder if it might be worth keeping just remembering who they are so we can email them when things change.
Yeah, that's another topic, but definitely not for. I'm not trying to solve it. Like how? Because there's definitely an increasing number of people, small but very very small number, but increasing number of people who don't have Discord. So it's getting hard to communicate with them if we need to, especially like agendas, meeting agendas, or other stuff.
I don't know if we just ask them to give us their email addresses or something so we can forward on any important things to them.
Maybe I should
If
set
we
up
don't- If we don't make use of GSM for a meeting chat, then we can just have it linked to the agenda or something.
or maybe I should set up a forum on the website, just like all those other microservers. Ugh.
I was saying, if we don't have GSM linked to a text channel, then we could have it linked to an info box that has the link to the agenda there, but that's even more stuff to update every month. Is it worth it?
So who uses forums? Honestly, because forums, I don't like forums for a lot of things. So you have to maintain them, but in this day and age, with like a lot of services like Reddit and other places like Discord, where a lot of information is getting lost, like self-hosting forum is like the only place we want to keep that information. So there is some use to it now. They're kind of making a comeback in a way.
Quite hard.
Counterpoint against a forum, at least from a usage standpoint, the majority of people have Discord on their phones. It's quite convenient for people to, if they want to, kind of say check a planning proposal when they're waiting on for a train.
One
You're not
yeah. Oh, go ahead, sir.
But then again, counterpoint with a forum, you could just sign in on your phone and you don't need to have another app downloaded.
The one disadvantage of Discord, and it's also something I thought too. Like a lot of information is. I mean, it's kind of hard to find. You could use the Discord search engine, but if messages get deleted or something, there's no record of that happening. One thing I've been thinking of is like proposals in the proposals channel. There's no backup for that. like all the things that we've agreed to or rejected. That's the only record of it. So I've been thinking like I think having some sort of bot to like copy that information over somewhere would be useful.
I mean, I guess it doesn't even have to be pretty. You could just copy the raw text, and worst case scenario, we could sift through that data if we really needed to down the line.
Yeah, that's a manual process though. You have to copy every. I think Skelly was actually he was for a time. I don't think he's kept up with it. Like he had a spreadsheet of all the approvals, but I'm more talking about also including all the discussion and how we came to that decision and all that sort of stuff.
I mean, I think it's definitely worth making a topic for that for another GSM. To be honest, it's quite a big issue, I'd say.
Sounds like someone's volunteering.
It maybe it's not a topic. It's more like it's on kind of my to-do list. Like, go find a Discord bot to just basically rip messages off the Discord server. There are a few out there. Why am I on fire?
Wow. You have been dunked in the lava chamber.
Actually, I was invisible. Whoops.
I love the diagonal voting board. It's very suited to this area.
Just a request for everyone building here. Please, I would actually ask that you clean up manually because doing a rollback here might be challenging. So please clean up as manually as much as you can after you're done here.
Right, that has gone 20 past. Is anyone else not back? Excellent, everyone's back.
Yeah.
With that, we will move into topic 5B. This is a topic by. Hope I'm reading the right topic. This is a topic by Lunarian Aperture, which is talking about some other Discord channels. This being media and events, and looking at whether. When Discord has options such as forum and threads, whether we should consider changing the current media and events format of having a separate announcements and discussions chat, and whether we should instead have just a single channel for each, which is either configured as a forum or as a threads setup. Is there anyone who wants to talk about this, who has any particularly strong opinions?
I wouldn't say I have particularly strong opinions, but I do have a couple of things to say, so if I could maybe start off there.
Yeah, please.
Yes, I was going to say, I think when looking at the votes on the community issue, it's quite a contentious issue, but in the discussion, I think a lot of people were maybe more in favour of changing the events channel to a forum channel because it makes sense for people to be discussing an event where it's posted, but with the media announcement channel move doesn't make as much sense. I think it was PTLD brought up a very good point about the fact that putting everything into a forum post maybe removes some of the creative freedom, formatting your post and putting pictures in certain places, that kind of thing. I know 7D suggested that we could possibly replace or enable threads within the media announcements channel, which would be a good compromise because it still allows the freedom to edit your post your own way, but can still contain the discussions within that channel and removes the additional media discussions channel. I think what I would maybe want to propose for now would be that we convert the events channel into a proposals channel and sort of trial it maybe.
Was that into a forum, sorry?
Yeah, into a forum channel, sorry. So change the events channel into a forum channel, and then either leave the media announcements channel as it is or enable threads and ask people to use those to just sort of try it out and see how it feels. The other thing I wanted to also mention, if you go to the proposals channel, I did actually put a screenshot of this in the community issue, but you can actually change the view so it's sort of like a tiled view, looks more like a feed, which is one of the concerns, that converting the media announcements channel into a forum channel, is you don't really get to see the images very well, you know, that sort of thing, but actually you can convert it into a big square box, you can see everything happening.
So I must agree, I must admit, I agree on not converting it into a forums channel. I think making those channels into forums will complicate the process to add a new message, and often a media announcement particularly it is just a one-line update. Needing someone to create a forum can add quite a lot of overhead to that, and I'd be particularly concerned when it came to event interest polls, because currently it's really straightforward to set up with just reactions, and it makes it significantly easier for members to respond to it, because they don't have to go into a forum post, they just see the message and press tick or cross or whatever response method is being used, versus I think if we went to a forum methodology, I think less people would be inclined to look in those, to click onto those forums in order to make their vote or to cast their votes.
Yeah, I think that's a very fair argument, to be honest. Well, I think the main thing with the events channel that I see, if you look, obviously, the recent example would be with Yoshi's MRT Vision, like him having to post pings on the channel does sort of clog it up a little bit and push other people's events up further. And I do think moving it into a forum channel would allow him to just put those pings into those specific posts and not have to repost the information every time. But I think this has pros and cons whichever way we go. So
for me, I think those advantages of I think the advantages of having a forum for those could also be met by a thread, because the advantage we're talking about is collating discussion around a single topic into one location. And to be fair, I do understand the concern that if there's a couple of, let's say there's a couple of recent event announcements, the discussions channels can get clogged up, and it can be confusing to see which discussion, or particularly in hindsight, it can be confusing to see which discussion messages are talking about which ones. So I do like the idea of threads, I'll be honest. It keeps it into a single channel rather than having two channels serving both purposes, and but it also doesn't put the burden on the person creating it to have to make it. It is purely if someone wants to make a discussion, well, they just create a thread there and then.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good take on it. Because I think 70's suggestion they're using threads would probably be the best of both worlds. So
what I'll do, I read through the
sorry.
absence.
I want to interject here. Threads might be the worst of both worlds, maybe, because I'm trying to look. So I'm in the middle of trying to look back at because this topic has come up before, where I think it's August 2021. Chief actually made a topic converting media discussion and event discussion to threads. I think this was before forum channels were a thing, and we said no to that because I'm trying to read the minutes. I think there was some fear that, like, because it would still be in a feed, the thread would actually you still need to click inside of it. So, and if it scrolls up way too far, it's harder to find. Whereas a forum channel, at least you would see all the topics in chronological order. So, I don't know. I'm just throwing some caution in the wind of whether the thread idea is actually what we want here.
It does give less visibility to the discussion itself, but you can see you can see on the original post, oh, there's been a discussion on this. You can click into it, and if you're interested in the event, you can look at the discussion. But if you're not interested in the event, you don't see it.
You have also got the threads button in Discord, so you don't have to scroll up to find one, because they are all shown in as a single list if in the top right hand corner. So take IRL General for instance, I can click the threads button and see that there's 4 threads. One called Travel Itineraries, last post was 14th of May 2023, and then there's 3 older ones in there. But that does sort it all into a single place.
I gotta admit, sometimes I forget that thread button exists. I'm not sure if that's the same for others. Like, if it's not, it's definitely a very small button. I'm not sure if it's the most obvious thing, but I'm just, yeah.
I think people would get used to it, and in those channels, discussion doesn't tend to go on for too long. So I equally don't see an issue if people do have to scroll 15 messages back to find something. And actually, to AP's point of the fact that, let's say for instance, with Yoshi's event pings for MRT Vision, if they're now all going into a single thread, well, there's significantly less announcements, so it is scrolling back further. I'm conscious that I've taken a lot of time in this topic, so I'll be quiet now and allow some other staff to speak.
Can I just maybe also say, I don't know if it would help if we were to discuss events and media in sort of different topics almost within this topic, because I think the pros and cons to each are quite different. So.
I think there is an element of people who are just because again it's come up before, and some people are adamantly opposed to it without actually knowing, having actually read the topic. Like, I think for example, what PTLD mentioned that he thought that forum channels would be based on how the other forum channels in our server work. It's always the last written message that always gets pushed up to the top, but there is a setting in Discord where you can set that to the post creation date, so that regardless of how many messages are written to that specific topic, it's always in the order of when the person created that post. So it'll still look like a feed in that sense.
So, what I'll do, I'll read out a couple of the absentee votes. So we have had a couple of comments absentee. Skelly would personally prefer not to change things because Skelly thinks it would add clutter, but he's not particularly strong about that point, so he'll go with the consensus. Missa doesn't believe there's enough consensus here, but would be in favour of trialling the idea for a month and then coming back to the topic. And 7D has said the same as Missa in that could we try to trial it before we make a decision.
Foot says I'm against it, though. Foot, you have to be specific. Which one are you against? The threads or against the forum channel? Because they're kind of separate things. But because something with like intrabus announcements, you either have 12 new topics for basically the same thing, or you have one topic that are all new announcements get buried in. Forum channels, okay.
Do any other staff that are present here have any opinions? It's been mainly just 3 of us that have been discussing here.
Yeah, I'm in agreement that I think threads are the better compromise. I think threads are a better way
of sorting
threads. Out
I
discussion.
heard threads like the player.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about Discord
Yeah.
threads, not nuclear war in Sheffield.
Threads. With you. Sorry, I just misheard.
Yeah. Lost my train of thought then. Yeah, threads, they keep discussion about a particular announcement or about a particular event in one place. And I think it also allows a degree of flexibility, say, for the original person to say, oh, an update on this has now happened. Or, you know, you could see, or it could lead to kind of say, for a media announcement, oh, it's something a bit more compact. For more details, see this thread. Or for more details, see the thread. That way it doesn't clog up the main channel, but the information is there if people want it.
So Zwoj has put into meeting channel that he is in favour of threads.
So let's be specific. What are we agreeing to specifically here? Is it just event? Is it just the event channels, and is it just going to be? Say we go with threads, that would basically mean event announcements would basically remain unchanged, and event discussion would get archived because all discussion would be in threads instead from this point forward. Is that correct?
That is my understanding, yes.
Okay.
That would be fair.
And just events, we're not doing media yet, or at all. I'm not sure.
Well, I'd be in favour of both actually, and I think media probably has a better requirement, because for media we already say when it comes to like these the wars that people do, we've already told people to make threads, because often there's like 20 different announcements about something that not many people are interested in. So like there is already a precedent of using threads in that channel.
Which obviously puts things like, new airfields opened and these are some gates, how to get them, which is a thing much more people are interested in.
Okay.
We don't want that hidden.
I do hope. Okay, this is just a thought. By removing discussion channel, I do hope that people will know that discussion. They're not supposed to put discuss. There's a common problem. They put discussion in the announcements channel, and then people have to go tell them, "Oh no, don't do that." I hope we don't see an influx of it because discussion's disappeared.
We probably will see that.
Yeah.
However, I think once it becomes the norm, then people will learn, and once it becomes the norm, new members will also see the fact that, hey, there's a thread against most announcements where someone wants to highlight something.
Okay.
So there may be some reinforcement needed, but it will come with time.
Yeah, so definitely something to watch out for. Okay.
I just want to say as well, I think I'd maybe still be in favour of converting event announcements into a forum channel. And I think actually maybe sorting it chronologically might be beneficial in that channel specifically, just because some events last multiple, well, in MRT Vision lasts multiple weeks, and actually having that being pushed up to the top might be quite useful.
I mean, the trial might be, maybe we just go with threads for now, if that's people want to try that out. And then later on, we could switch one or both of them to forums. If people, especially if people that don't like the threads, which might be a possibility, I don't know, or they want to change it into something else.
Threads is an easier change as well, whereas at the point where we are doing a forum, that is a whole new channel that's being created. So it would be very easy to trial threads for a month or two.
Yeah, it would also screw up with the archiving, because if we go to a forum channel immediately, I have to archive the current event announcements channel, and then we'd lose about, if we decide to go back, we'd lose about several announcements or something. So
I must say I'm not really in favor of the events channel being forums, because there's like one consideration I think Simon touched on a little bit earlier. The forums channel, they only show the top reactions. I think that might be that's something to consider if we're like making polls for events.
I think that's fair enough.
that's a good point. Yeah, polls aren't very common in media, right? It's only events.
They're not in media now, but I don't think. However, in media, often it's just a single message with no discussion, so creating a forum post is a bit overkill.
True that.
I would suggest that we go with the suggestion of trialing this, and we, for the duration of the trial, we archive the respective discussion channels, and we direct people to create threads where they want to discuss a topic. Would there be anyone vehemently disagreeing with that suggestion?
There, maybe not now, but there possibly might be someone who's not at the meeting who may pipe up. Because I do see, again, I've seen a lot of completely against changing either of these channels. So we might see something, but...
Which is why I think it's worth doing a trial rather than just agreeing to change permanently.
Okay.
But certainly none of the absentee ballots have said, I hate this idea. In absence of any other points, I think we can go ahead with that suggestion. So we will change it, the both media announcements and event announcements to be threads, or actually I don't know if they need to be actually reconfigured or if they're already enabled. We will be archiving the discussions channel for both types, and we will raise this as a topic for next GSM, where we will review whether we want to stick with that or whether we want to retrograde back to how we have it now.
Mm-hmm.
I am not hearing anything else, in which case we can conclude that topic. So, moving now on to topic 5C. This was a topic raised by Light Shatters, which is asking around formal rules for what they are calling decorative airfields. This would be airfields which currently come under, well, full-size airfields which currently would come under the main airfields, or Senator Airfield or Governor Airport rules, in that your maximum size has to be part of your city's 7,500 block or 50% respectively limits. However, Light Shatters would like us to consider the allowance of decorative airfields, which could be in addition for that, and also for towns that are not ranked senator, so they could have a small-scale decorative airfield without having the necessary rank for the builds. Is there anyone who wants to start off discussion on this?
The problem we have with airfields and airports is that they take up a lot of space, which is why we limit them in the first place. I'm personally of the opinion 7,500 is very small for an airfield, but it's what we've agreed on. And maybe that could be raised. Maybe, but that's outside the scope of this. We put those rules in not to limit transport, but to limit the kind of prevalence of airfields. The old world is what happens when we kind of don't have rules around that. So the old world is about 30-40% airports by land at this point.
So, I agree with that point. I would also add that I would be concerned that if decorative airfields were approved, what we end up seeing is people building their senator airfield or building their governor airports at a lower rank, and just not adding warps to it until they get the respective rank. So, our concerns about they are massive flat strips of concrete, and the fact we're getting rid of the natural terrain, that will still hold. So I am not in favour of this proposal, because I just see people that will use this to get around the rules, and they will build a quote decorative airfield which is later upgraded to be their senator or governor field.
I'm against this proposal. I've mentioned this in the thread already. I'm against this proposal for a little bit different reason, and that's for rules complexity. This is a kind of if we approve a decorative airfield, that's a can of worms, and it's going to add a whole, probably several paragraphs to the rules page, trying to figure out all the little special cases that Light has try to go over. But I think just to keep things simpler and to not have situations where staff have to debate, oh, is this decorative thing can be allowed or not, I would prefer just going with the status quo, just ban decorative airfields and not have to deal with it.
So when it comes to the absentee ballots, Scully has said that, as he discussed in the thread, he feel the primary reason why airfields is still behind the rank is because of how much space the airfields take up, as AP has also highlighted. As such, Scully believes that the best and simplest solution is to make decorative airfields go through all the regulations that regular airfields do, so shouldn't be treated any differently, i.e. keep the status quo. And Missa has agreed with that, saying that decorative airfields should be subject to the same limits as current senator and governor airfields and airports.
If we do go with the status quo, we would at least add something explicit to the rules that explicitly says decorative airfields are not allowed, because that's currently.
So I don't think not allowed. More decorative airfields do count towards the respective allocations. So like, if someone wants an airport and an airfield with no warps, they can, but be aware that is your senator facility.
Okay, I'm just trying to think. I don't. Why would someone want to do that? I'm just kind of like trying to.
Military airfields, for instance, where there's not any flights. It's a military base they built.
And they'd use their allocation. I'm just more thinking, would anyone in their right mind want to use their allocation for that and then not be able to participate in the air industry? I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I think we do have some military bases, and same for spaceports as well. We've got some spaceports with no warps, which do count towards the limits.
Oh, okay, if that's the case, then.
Just want to read what it says on the rules page about airfields and airports.
I'm pretty sure there was a topic a long time ago where we did talk about decorative heliports, and things are similar to that, at least in that scale. But airports, decorative airfields, we've never touched on. So I don't think there's actually a explicit rule around it.
So it says now that an airfield is defined as any facility that permits the movement of air and spacecraft, and which is 75,000 square meters or smaller. So I mean, the current definition of an airfield does not mention the fact that this is something which facilitates warps to be placed. So for me, decorative airfields are just airfields.
So I think you're missing my point. My point is the rules don't explicitly say decorative airfields anywhere, whereas in other parts of the rules we have said things about decorative heliports. We've actually defined them. So I wouldn't take what's written there as. It's more like whatever we wrote there probably didn't take decorative airfields into account because they weren't really a thing we would consider. So either way, we should add something or rewrite something to make it explicit about what our stance about decorative airfields are.
So I'm not convinced, because where we do state decorative, it's against helicopters, heliports, airships, and blimps.
Yes.
Where we say that any decorative helicopter is allowed, any functional helicopter is subject to rules. So we only specify the decorative elements because we're saying these are outside of the other rules. Whereas we're saying for air facilities, the one rule will encompass them all. Therefore, I don't think we have to make the distinction.
I disagree because the whole reason that Light is bringing this up because it's not explicitly specified in our rules. There's no dedicated section or sentence about it. That's the point. Like, my point is the rule that's written there is written from a time when we never probably considered this. Let's make it concrete. Let's make it concrete and explicitly make it clear what is allowed or not allowed, or or sort of allowed. Like, just make it clear in the rules.
Okay,
somewhere.
yeah. We could add a sentence: an airfield, including decorative airfields with no active warps. We could just add the distinction to the current set of rules rather than making additional rules.
Yeah.
And same for airports. Airports, including decorative without any functional warps.
Light, if you're... Oh, sorry. That's why I asked. Light, if you're in chat, did you have a specific preference of what you wanted which of these options you wanted in this proposal? 'Cause you did basically... you basically said, okay, these rules are not explicit. What is the direction we need to go? I'm not sure if you had a preference or anything. Actually, Light is here, right?
Light Shutters is in game and has been talking in the project in the meeting channel.
Yeah. Oh, what? You would think about? Okay.
Are there any other staff members who want to make their opinions known about this? Well, we're waiting for Light to respond.
Yeah. Because so far, the staff, at least so far what we've heard, the staff consensus seems to be, let's keep the status quo. Let's not allow these, at least not allow the decorative airfields outside the current allocations. Yoshi's suggesting define airfields as their current definition and that they have warps. I think that might cover it.
No, I think we go the opposite. I think we say the current decking. Yeah, because if we go with the Yoshi's suggestion, we do allow for something that doesn't have warps. I think we should cover the make the airfield and the airports a restriction include decorative airfields. So pretty much say it's an airfield if it allows for movement of space or aircraft, regardless of the presence of warps. I'll think of some of website-worthy phraseology and suggest it.
And Simon, you were mentioning there are like military, like non-warp airfields or airports out there. Are we sure that those are within allocations right now? Like, what I worry about is if we make this.
I can't remember which town it is. It's one of Vicky's towns, I want to say, where that is Vicky's sole air facility. Oh, CC, that's it. Sorry. Yeah, thanks, Yoshi, for clarifying.
Okay.
That is the town's.
Yeah. Because what if my worry is if we went with what the definition of allocation, and then we find some city with an airfield, like a decorative airfield or airport that, like maybe they have both. Maybe they have a real one and a decorative one, but they're all together out like exceed the allocation perhaps.
I think someone would have realised if that was the case. I am currently at the one in. I'm currently at the one in Scarborough, and you can see from the die map that this is the only air facility.
Okay.
It's well above the 7,500 by.
Is Scarborough governor?
Yeah, Scarborough is governor.
Yeah, but it's less than 50% of the rest of the town.
Yeah, you can see that on the map. Even if you don't include the flower field, it's marginal. No, it's not marginal. It's clear.
Okay. Just going back to Light, what Light said. So Light actually has no preference. I think Light just wanted clarification on this particular kind of build. Like, what is the direction we want to go with? So,
I think keep the status quo, but maybe add a note into the rules page to say decorative airfields do count towards your allocate towards your block limit.
Yeah, unless any staff comes in with any dissenting opinions, but I haven't heard any so far, we will maintain the status quo, and I will make an amendment to the website to reflect that.
Cool.
I'll give a couple of seconds if any remaining staff want to bring up any further discussion. And with that silence, we will conclude that topic. And yeah, as said, we'll keep the status quo, and we'll clarify on the website that the airfield and airport restrictions do apply regardless of whether the facility has active flights out of it.
Hold on. So you just a little point he wants to make.
Yes, Rose, that is the case, and if people so wish, then that has always been the case, that they can make a specific proposal if they wish to go around current regulations.
I don't know. Do we even want to allow that? Because we don't usually. When was the last time we approved a decorative airport? That's the thing.
I don't think we ever have.
So
I don't want to stop the proposal in case there is some edge case that we aren't thinking of, but it would be highly likely that we vote no if people propose it.
Yeah. Frozen's reflecting what I'm trying to say here. Like, if we allow saying decorative must be within allocation, but you can make a proposal. Those are two different things. So
no, I don't think we should say it, but it is sort of a de facto that if you want to do something that isn't covered in the rules, then you can ask for staff. You can ask for staff approval for anything.
I think what we're trying to say. I think there's a miscommunication. My understanding is we're not going, by saying this, we're not allowing it to be proposed at all. Period. Because if we allow this, then I guess what's the point? Well, why do we want to allow it? Like it's kind of a leaky bucket in a way, if that makes sense.
If we say, because, if we say in the rules, decorative airfields and airports must be proposed as they were as normal, or some way of phrasing it to say a decorative airport that would be above the 7,500 limit would still have to be proposed and still be within your limit, but a decorative airfield would not have to be proposed, as an airfield does not.
Sorry,
I'm already confused.
I don't think I've made my point clear.
I'm already confused.
I don't think we should change the status quo. I don't think we should, in 99% of circumstances, allow proposals, and if a proposal was made, I would be against it. But, in general, anyone can make a request to staff about anything, and we will, and we can vote on it, that if it doesn't fit into the neat definitions that the rules makes. So, someone can vote on anything, just we have a rule saying respect the landscape you're building on. If they needed to achieve something which required them to break one of those rules, at any time anyone can make a proposal, and it will be judged on its merits by staff.
I guess my point I'm trying to say is if we're allowing them to propose, but we already know that the rules say no, why are we giving them the chance to do so? Why can't we just say don't propose it? Don't waste staff time. Don't waste your time. Just no.
Yes, the rules will be no, but the status quo is anyone can make a proposal about anything.
I think I see what you're saying. I just feel like I think we're grasping at splitting straws here, but I think I guess I don't want people to I don't want to give them false hope, thinking that they can submit a proposal and they have a even the smallest chance that it might get approved. Is that what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, it's not going to be unless there is an edge case that we haven't considered here, and we're not going to reflect it in the rules because, the rules will reflect that decorative airfields are included in the respective allocations, and in the case of governor, have to be applied for. So they are treated exactly the same as their non-decorative counterparts.
Okay, so Protocol is saying, why not just say decorative airfields and airports have the same restrictions as regular airfields and airports? Will that cover it, basically? I guess?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say so, yes.
Okay, I think we can move on.
Please.
Okay.
Before we all
so-
die of old age.
Well, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Before we all
so-
die of old age.
Well, I'm sorry. The next
Moving on.
the next topic is going to be very painful because I don't know what to do here.
So the next topic is topic 5D, which is rules regarding future support purchases. Frimple, do you want to take the lead on this one?
So here's the issue. So as you know, Ath likes to purchase supporter for others. I'm not sure for what she can probably describe exactly why she does it, but it's to me it sounds like she's doing it to fill out like a lot of the higher ranks, like make sure all governors are supporter, make sure all senators are supporter. And then most recently she was about to purchase supporter for all the remaining mayors, which is quite a significant amount. And at that point I was like, like this might be going too far. And I decided that I think we need to discuss how to go about this. I'm going to make a few things clear here. I appreciate all the donations that Ath is making. I'm not going to money is great. I will make that very clear. However, the way in which these supporter gifts are being purchased, it's kind of going against the attention of the rank or attention of supporter. Like it was, like the idea of supporter is if the person likes the server, if they have the means, they can help support it. But if one person is just buying supporter for everyone else, it's kind of defeating the purpose. And if it's going to if all governors, senators, mayors are supporter, then it's kind of like, well, like what? Well, why do we need supporter anymore? Like it's, yeah. So
I think. Sorry, go ahead.
Go for it.
So I think the challenge is that supporter does come with perks, like the ability to use colours both in chat and on signs, but particularly on signs is a valid building tool that people without it don't have. So it's difficult to say that you shouldn't be able to gift it without but because otherwise some people in the community will not have access to those building tools.
Yeah. There are some people who don't have the means at all, so gifting would be their only way. Yeah.
I have seen the proposal about having like 2 tiers, so if you're gifting it's going to cost more money than just donating in its pure form, donating for yourself rather. I'm hesitant about that because I'm thinking of, like, let's say you've got a family where you've got an older brother and a younger brother who play on the server. The older brother is working, so wants to buy supporter for both him and the brother and the younger brother. So, but why should they have to pay different rates when it is just in that family environment?
Yeah.
So I'd be very hesitant to make 2 different cost tiers.
I'm hesitant about it in general. I don't like the 2-tier system. It also adds a little bit more complexity to supporters, and I don't know if I want to deal with that. I did make a suggestion, maybe just overall, maybe I could just raise the price. It's always been $10 Canadian since I think I introduced it like 10-11 years ago. So it has not kept up with inflation or cost of living or whatever. So maybe just increasing it to $20. It wouldn't solve the problem completely, but at least it would make anyone who thinks of trying to gift a whole bunch of supporters, it give them a bit more pause, because then they won't try to buy the whole rank, for example.
So here's my observation.
Yeah.
If you're gifting it to someone else, it effectively gets double credited, because let's assume that people who are gifting it have supported themselves because they have the financial means to support the server. Well, they get to give someone else supporter, and their number goes up on the supporters document. Now, clearly that's not the reason that people do donate, to see the number goes up, but effectively now...
Sorry, to interject, there are a couple people I know who are actually that competitive, but anyway, that's
fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, I'm winning anyway. It is being double counted because they are giving more money, so their number goes up, and someone else gets a perk from it. The other way to consider it is, well, you can donate on someone else's behalf, and you can donate to give them that rank. But guess what? Those 10 Canadian dollars or whatever additional price you wish, that's against their name because you donated it in their name for them to get the rank. And then,
sorry, go ahead,
I
Simon.
think you'd lost me, Simon. Sorry, I'm trying to follow.
no, so I'm saying that I see no problem with 10 Canadian dollars or whatever the agreed price is. I see no problem in that gifting being done, but if someone is doing it as a gift, well, at the moment it's getting counted twice effectively for that same amount because that other person gets the benefit of it, and well, I'll use Athena as an example, and Athena's number goes up by 10 Canadian dollars on the supporter sheets. So if Athena were to donate on behalf of a mayor, well, that 10 Canadian dollars goes in that other mayor's name. Like you are solely donating on their behalf.
Yeah, the point of that sheet is mainly, I think it's mainly, it's supposed to track the actual donation. Where are those donation amounts coming from? Like directly. Like it wouldn't make sense to track it based on the person on, like, you're doing it on behalf of, because they never paid any money, right? Like, I don't know. Like that's at least that's how I've tracked it anyway.
Yeah. Just a quick thing on the sheet. Like, we've got total income $9,409 Canada. And actually, put it on the sheet of everybody who's paid 15 Canada or more. I'm going to count it as. That's 7,879. So that is vast majority. Less about 1,000, less about 1,500. That's coming from people who have donated multiple times, who have not donated. Sorry, who have donated more than the minimum amount, but they don't have to.
Sorry, I missed all of AP's point there because my headset died. I've just changed the batteries around there. Back again.
Okay. Just need to do a wee bit of maths. Give me a second.
So I'm just reading some comments here. Foot's suggesting, and some others have suggested, like, limits on gifting. Like, oh, you can only gift this number of people per some amount of time, or even per forever. I don't think any of these really solve the problem. On one hand, I don't want to restrict Ath from gifting everyone, but at the same time, it's getting a bit silly to the point where if all the mayors are supporters, then, like, I don't know.
I think maybe the point I want to bring up is that if we do, charging people more to gift, or limiting the amount they can gift, would that possibly incentivize a situation where a member will privately send money to someone else so that they can buy a supporter with that money? I'm not sure how likely that would be, but in the event that it did happen, could that lead to someone not sending their money or not buying support with that? And I suppose that could lead to a whole other cacophony of issues.
Actually, yeah, no, that's a good point, DNA. That's actually even worse, because now it's a transaction between two MRT members, but outside of our knowledge. And if something goes wrong with that transaction, it's not our responsibility, but it is related to us, and I can see bad. There's a potential for bad blood. It's not common, but
obviously, there's also the additional transaction fee, which is probably not really the priority concern there, but that is something to consider.
You're just basically wasting money transferring, unless you have a free transfer or something. But yeah.
So here's a consideration. What is the incentive for gifting to occur, and it is because there is a tangible there is a tangible difference in permissions between supporters and non-supporters. There is an advantage that is given to supporters, particularly the use of coloured signs for their builds, and the fact they have the select channel. A fairly a somewhat out there suggestion would be remove all of the differences. So actually, is there a reason why non-supporters can't have coloured signs when actually I see somewhat frequently in chat non-supporters just asking supporters to give it to them? So it's not a real paywall, because non-supporters just have to ask in chat to get those perks.
It's more of a convenience thing, yeah, because it's if you can make your own sign.
At that point,
yeah.
At that point, we are actively inconveniencing supporters because supporters have to do it for the non-supporters. What we could do is, this is an out there suggestion, is strip back the difference. So it is solely, does your rank have a plus next to it in chat? If that is the only difference, then I don't see the benefit in gifting.
There's also
So
It could reduce it, and then there is no concept of gifting. It is purely, if you have supported the server, and we are very grateful for that, we just give you a little mark in game which says, thank you, this person has supported. We stop the gifting. However, clearly then I don't want to disincentivize Athena and others from gifting more than 10 Canadian dollars if they are able to support with more. Maybe it's something like there's a list physically in game somewhere in Central Park, let's say, which says thank you to these people who have generously gifted the community, and there's just, let's say, the top 10, the top 20, whatever, somewhere in Central Park as a form of thanks for those people that do go above and beyond.
I'm just trying to think about this. I think it was suggested in the thread, but one thing it does, basically supporter benefits would no longer be a thing, which is kind of the point in a way.
Yeah, so it's its own. So I do think you still have supporter, but it's just a plus next to your rank. It's just it's recognition.
It's effectively almost the equivalent of a donation, just a general donation, because it's just one little difference.
Yeah, I do think having the recognition is important, and actually it's a good way of us saying, hey, this server isn't free. We are grateful for these people who support us.
Here's
I still haven't by having that list.
Here's one question: would this stop Ath from buying all Mayor's supporter? Anyway, like I don't know if it will. Like, we can ask Ath: would this change if supporter didn't have any more benefits? Would you still just buy supporter for everyone? It doesn't, like. I guess what I'm saying is, if Ath is going to do it anyway, it doesn't really solve the problem, does it? Like,
well, so I would almost say, like, go strip it back, and like we if people have the permissions that they were gifted, then the plus the supporter rank, the plus in game, is only given to people who have actually donated themselves. So.
That's what you're saying. Oh, okay, yeah.
I would almost say that current supporters who have it gifted would no longer have the plus in game. However, so I would say, give the current supporter permissions to everyone. Remove the difference between supporter and non-supporter, and then for the people who have donated, they get a plus next to their name. But only the people who have donated themselves. Okay,
so I think I understand what you're suggesting. It is very similar to what others have suggested as well. I think Light was suggesting splitting the current, not doing the benefits part, but I think Light actually went one step further. Instead, we'd split supporters. People who have actually donated, people were gifted. The people who did donate would get supporter benefits as they are, and the people who weren't gifted lose them. So which in itself is
The-
not a
the-
great idea. That would be an unpopular
So the-
thing, but yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think it's fair to the people who have benefited from the gift. I do not think we can. Well, frankly, I don't think we can legally remove the permissions, because at the point where we made that supporter sale, let's call it, that was made. That supporter was sold with the expectation that they have lifetime permissions to have access to coloured signs, to be able to use /me, I think it is, a supported perk still.
Yeah.
They get all of those. So I say everyone gets those. In that way, the people who've had it gifted, we're not taking anything away from them, which would violate any form of contractual agreement, which is effectively what is made here. The only difference is we remove the plus next to their name, which is just a small symbol of, has this person physically given their own money to the community?
Okay.
And we legally can we do that as well, considering the rank is also part of that contract, as you say? Or at least kind of the recognition. I
mean,
don't disagree with you.
There's a lot of instances. I'm not sure about the legal things, but I have seen a lot of cases where, you pay some software company for a service that they're supposed to give you, but they rug pull you, and they change the terms, or change the naming, or change the terms of service in a sense. So I don't know about that part. To be really honest, I don't know what to do. And even though Simon's suggestion it sounds possible, I'm not sure if it's the right way to go. I'm not sure if there's any ways the right way to go, to be honest.
We just need the least bad way.
I mean, can we trial different things? Do we have to actually set anything in stone here?
The problem with this is trialing's not really possible, because once we commit, right? Like it's...
You are changing a lot of people's ranks if you went down my nuclear option.
Yeah, there's also the potential annoyance from people who have bought supporter in the past. I don't know of anybody who just bought supporter just to get the benefits of it. But if suddenly, they haven't had to buy supporter for it because it's been given to everyone now.
Okay, one option I just thought of is maybe do it add some retroactive activity to it. So you could another way could be all the people who've bought supporter and gifted supporter, they'll go into some of this sort of legacy thing. They'll keep all the supporter benefits, but starting from this point onward, all supporters have to. Actually, that might not work because. Basically, all the supporters from this point would be basically what Simon described. But the one issue I can see is... Nope, actually, never mind. Nope, I've lost my train of thought. Sorry about that.
Yeah, going back to the situation, say, of someone, a relative, or, somebody hasn't got the means to pay for the supporter rank, for whatever reason. Say they don't have a bank account, but they do have some money they want to put towards a server. Well, yeah, the whole gifting is messy there. That's probably not a situation we'd end up in, because that would cause legal things outside of our control. But say a relative, Frozen's kid is on the server, and for Frozen wanting to give his kids the supporter rank, that seems perfectly reasonable. Or London and Alba, but I think they're both supporter anyway. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, I think the conclusion from this at this time is I don't know what to do. I'm not sure what the best solution is. It might come down to that maybe this is a molehill out of nothing, and maybe I should just allow Ath to purchase supporter for all the rest of the mayors, and let's let that go. But again, I don't know. Like, I don't feel comfortable with it, is what I'm trying to say. Because it's kind of, unfortunately, unfortunately, it's because of the way I set up supporter in the beginning. I haven't changed in all this time. It's kind of devolved into this sort of thing where it's just being gifted, like all over the place, right? So.
Yeah, I will say I like Simon's nuclear option potentially, but it also opens up a whole new kettle of worms that is probably outside the remit of this meeting.
Yeah. Okay, I don't want to waste any of your guys' time with this. I'll have to, because I am the one dealing with supporter and the payments anyway. I'm gonna have to think on it a bit more. I'm not sure if I'll be able to make a decision, but yeah.
In terms of changing the price as well, I do see that as a server owner decision. Clearly the community will want to be informed, and well, they will be informed when the price is changed, but I don't see that being a community discussion. I see that being a server operator decision.
Yeah, I only floated that idea out there because it might help solve this problem, but it's not going to completely solve it, I think. So I don't know. So okay, let's move on.
CSM's been going on so long, the audience has disappeared, and the chaos.
There's still 14 people in the Discord audience. I'm actually surprised. Well, in game, whatever. Anyway, let's finish the meeting off.
Yeah, so we'll move on from that topic. The final topic we have is wiki standards by Light Shutters. I'll be honest, I haven't particularly read into this, so if someone else would like to summarise, then I'd be very grateful for that.
So I don't know if Light. Actually, we didn't ask Light if they want. I don't know, Light, if you want to speak on this at all, or type in text perhaps. Like I personally have some issues with. So there's kind of two issues here that I want to bring up. One is Light wants some sort of wiki standards there, because there aren't any. But the other issue I brought up is the way those standards are written and decided upon. And unfortunately, from what I understand, it's all pretty much been Yoshi and not really been vetted by others or staff. So that's my issue. Like I wish I'm trying to look for I'd like a bit more of a collaborative way of. Actually, let me describe the original issue of why this came up. So, Moraine, who's a new member on the server, they were starting to write wiki pages, and at one point, Yoshi came by and edited their page without informing them in the beginning, and that ticked Moraine off. Partly because I don't think Moraine understood that, there are certain standards on the wiki, but also the fact that Yoshi didn't communicate with Moraine beforehand was also not a good thing. So I wonder if we could discuss that as well, like if at least a heads up to especially a new member would be helpful there. Is anyone listening to me? I don't know. It seems like people are talking about something else in chat.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I personally have no problem with there being a guide for how to format, but I think it needs to be a guide rather than rules. I think if we make it into rules, the enforcement of it will become challenging, and will become more controversial. So I think a guide is a great idea for here's some considerations you can make when making your page, but other than that, I don't think we need to be as strict as Wikipedia because it doesn't serve the same purpose.
I guess my point is the staff haven't really been involved with the wiki enforcement. I guess it's all been Yoshi, and I'm just concerned that if it's just Yoshi and it's not a staff member, that's... Do you see my issue here? Like, it's not a staff member doing, like, making these rules up or enforcing them.
I see the concern, but I would also be very surprised if a staff member was willing to give up as much time as I know Yoshi does to the wiki, because that sort of thing requires a hell of a amount of passion. Now, I've
Sure.
seen some suggestions about a committee, but I will reflect on, and I was discussing this with Yoshi earlier, is actually we've tried to do committees before with like the PvP committees, and nothing ends up happening. People say they'll be on the committee, but it ends up grinding to a halt.
Okay, but
So,
but I do want to. I don't want the situation with Moraine happening again. So I do at least want some. I guess what I'm trying to say is, like some oversight on what's going on with the wiki, because we've sort of left. I guess the people who are really interested in the wiki alone with it. But if it's going to start causing, if they're establishing arbitrary rules, and then that's causing new members issues, or people who don't know about it, that's something we should be concerned about, I would say.
Can I just say as well, in terms of whether or not we should have strict rules or not, I do think there are a couple instances. I know with the user template, I think it's called, is the example I give, where you can use the curly braces or you can use the actual the square ones for it. I do think there are cases like that where it might actually be better to have a standardized rule for that. Like you have to use the square brackets instead of the curly braces or something, because they have
disagree.
different technical implications.
I disagree,
What-
because if
what-
it works, and at the point that you're having to argue with someone over the type of brackets they use, that's already gone too far.
Dina, but sorry, Dina, you said they were technical.
About the actual, so I might actually be wrong with the user template thing here. So I'll probably actually talk about the page categorization is probably a better one to use, where this does actually affect other pages in the wiki. If I put my town in a certain category or something else, for example, that does actually affect the entire site rather than just your page.
Yeah, so I agree if pages are miscategorized, but I think that shouldn't be an arbitrary non-staff member makes a decision. I think that is a discussion point. Like, if Yoshi wants to change another page, well, he discusses it with that other person and says, "Hey, this is the general precedent the wiki goes with. I do not," and Yoshi expresses his opinion. But I'm against. I think the best way of just preventing argument is, it's like, just edit your own pages, and if you want to edit that of someone else's, just speak with them and say, "Hey, I'm wanting to do this. Are you okay with this?"
Yeah, and that's kind of the issue, because in this case, that didn't happen. It was just Yoshi came in and did it. Yoshi, if you want to talk on voice, you can go ahead and raise your hand, and you can come in here.
Just before that happens, what was the inciting article being changed?
It was
it for town or
Moraine's town page? Yeah, I think it was that. It was, to be clear, it wasn't a user page, which I feel like we've implied that that's a bit more personal, and therefore you definitely shouldn't change people's user pages. But that's my understanding. Yes, Yoshi. Hello.
There we go. Hi. Yeah, I was thinking earlier in Marine chat. I think the best way to avoid that, which I should have done for this edit, is just basically after editing, we should just encourage people to write in their edit summaries what you're changing and why, for the main part.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think which covers most of the bases of, and if someone has a problem with it, what they can do is they can undo and then go to the top page being like, "Hey, I saw you made this edit, whatever. Can you do this?" Because I think that's more realistic to edit than having to, speak to every person. If you see an error, I don't think it's realistic to have to go through every person like, "Hey, you have, a typo here. Can I fix it?" That's not really it does really slow the editing process down. Versus if there's something wrong, undoing it and then leaving a message on the top page, I think is definitely better encouragement because it starts a discussion, but also it can also leave a paper trail of, hey, this is where this discussion went.
I'm looking in chat, Yoshi. Moraine is agreeing with you there. So as long as you if you put the one in the Y in the summer, just at least give a reason, which I think is what Moraine just wanted in the first place. I think that's fine. It sounds like you didn't do that in that case, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, that was my. Yeah, I admit that was my mistake. I
Okay.
forgot to put it there. Is the problem, and that's my bad.
Yeah, because I remember after Moraine got pretty pissed. excuse me, Moraine, but you were not happy about it. Then we had to figure. It sort of led to this discussion, and Light then posted this wiki standard thing. So I don't know. So at least something good came out of it.
Is there a way of limiting edits so that you cannot publish an edit unless you have put something in summary page? Even if it's just something quick of like, oh, fix the typo.
No, because then, well, I don't think you can, and even if you couldn't, well, it wouldn't stop anyone responding with AAA.
No, but it's by having a thing of you have to put something in this box.
It would at least give a person a reminder to put at least a reason, like something in there.
Yeah, so how the wiki works, there's the main two views that the wiki has right now that people use. The visual editor, it does, before you save, it pops with the box saying, do you want to add something? That's fine. On the old edit, it has at the bottom right above the save bar, so it is there, but if I remember correctly, there's not really a media wiki feature now that says you have to put something in the box. But it is pretty obviously there, so I don't think anyone should be able to miss it, especially if you're doing visual editing. You cannot miss it because you have to go to that page before you fix it. And I think that's what most people have on by default. I think that's what we have on by default now for new users too. So
I can quickly. I might go check the media wiki settings. I'm just wondering if there is an option to make it mandatory. But maybe there isn't. But I'll get back to you if there is. If that's. I
think also having just a reminder on maybe while creating a page of the wiki is public, may be edited by any member of the MRT.
Yeah, we
see the standards which our community agreed.
We need a wiki onboarding page or something, just so people, so new members don't get like blindsided by like, oh, someone edited my page, rar, like, you know, that sort of thing.
Well, that's a bit of a mischaracterization, but
well, I'm exaggerating, but you get my point. Like it's not. I mean, I think it's happened before, though. Like these sort of conflicts have happened before, even with regular members, like or not new members. Like people sometimes just don't understand how the wiki works, and they sort of take ownership of their page or like really strongly. And then they get mad when someone comes along or some maintainer comes along and just does a drive-by edit or something, right? Is that something we can make, Yoshi, or is it something? Is that on the wiki somewhere, or I don't know?
I feel like that existed somewhere. I have like for some reason a vague memory of Chief making something.
Editor's guides.
Not that.
Not that hub. The hub?
There is help editor's hub, but how it is, it just talks about what's on the main page, and then it talks and then that's really all it is right now. Because previously that was just empty. I added that like a few months ago, right? And previously that was just empty. But if I remember, I swear Chief wrote something a long time ago. I don't know why I have a vague memory of this. It's probably somewhere in the wiki. If I dig, I'll probably find it. But it's definitely possible to add it in like the top box where it says welcome to the MRT wiki. It's definitely possible to add it there of like, here's a line and then get a link to a page. That's definitely possible.
It would be. I definitely would like. It would be great to see it on the front page. It would also be great to. I could also add it as a link on the member application email that's sent to all new members. So, like, we give them instructions on how to make a wiki account, but we could also add a page, say, hey, read this. This is how the wiki works, like that sort of thing. So.
That could work. Do you think actually? You're able to edit the sidebar on the left, right, where it says main page, editor's hub, servers, that stuff, right?
Correct. So, yeah, that could be added there too.
Wait, there is a wiki rules section. There it is.
Yeah.
There's a wiki rules page, but it's very bare bones. It's very like there's 5 lines and that's it.
I'm pretty sure
That
that
page,
yeah, not much work has gone into it. So it's
that's fair.
okay. Okay. Sorry, I feel like we're just getting. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, DNA. Sorry.
So I was going to say, are we going to add then a couple of base rules which people have to follow in the wiki, or standards which must be enforced, maybe, versus just having a guide, you know?
So sorry, we got distracted by this, but this is why this topic is here. Let's go back to what Light proposed, which is the standards.
May I interject here?
Yep.
The meeting channel is now closed, and we cannot type in it because.
Oh, sorry. Hold on.
Log meeting tonight.
Remember when we had a 1 hour cut-off, a hard cut-off at an hour?
For ISMs.
ISM. That's ISMs. Okay.
When we've had an ISM that lasted 8 seconds, was it? That was pretty good. I think we should have more of those.
Sorry. So going back on. Yeah, I'm glad we addressed that reason, but let's go back to what Light, the actual proposal that Light is making here. So, and going off what DNA said, like these. So Yoshi made something. I'm trying to look for it.
I'll resend it. So basically, it's in general. The Light started this page, and I kind of just spent the last few days filling it off. There's a lot there, but it's basically everything I could think of that fits there. I basically made every section and pulled it from either Wikipedia's manual guide or the AP style guide, and basically pulled it there. The main reason a lot of these things are here are for like accessibility issues, so people who may be colorblind, or or it's also just for readability to make sure you can read it as a person who's coming to Wiki New. There's not like a bunch of like random pictures in your face or big boxes that you don't know what they mean. It's just to make it very readable, and that's kind of the main purpose of the guide.
Okay.
But most of this are not my words. I may have borrowed it from Wikipedia, but yeah.
So going back on what DNA asked, is this a guide or is this a rule?
I'm not sure. So DNA and I actually previously, like a while ago, DNA and I have talked about making a thing like this before. Like we have talked about it would be nice to have this, and I always thought it'd be a good idea, but it is a lot of work, and it truly this kind of got sprung on me. I've been busy for the past a little bit, so I was planning on making it, but I just been I just had rushed to try to finish for the GSM because I was not expecting it to pop up this soon. But I think it should be all good. But yeah, I just made it so we could figure out what it's for. But I at least want to have it here for if new people come on, they're like, what should I do for, maybe capitalizing this? How should I link this? And this is kind of just all here for that, to make it readable.
So we could use as a foundation for something. I'm just not sure what. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's at least if, for example, I guess with with any sense, if someone asks, oh, why, it could be oh, why was this image made much smaller on my page? You could say, oh, you can point to this saying, the reason it is because I'm following this guide right here, and the reason that it is the size, it's for readability on mobile devices, and also to make it clear to read on desktop devices.
Okay.
Which says somewhere there in all these words.
I do personally think that we probably should have some base rules that people not necessarily have to follow, but I guess some rules that give other players the right to edit that page. So that might be really simple things such as the language the page is written in. We should say that all of our pages are written in English, and I think that would probably extend out to some more technical things, so such as the types of templates which should be used, or the way you lay out your templates. Correct me if I'm wrong, Yoshi, I think that there are some templates which do actually have technical implications on the entire site. So some of the special pages might use the templates to, such as the categories page, to list categories, and we don't want people putting the wrong categories, that kind of thing. But I think maybe for things like date format, maybe that could be a bit more sort of a guide thing where we're not strictly enforcing it. If someone wants to put this date on their page or in this format, they can. But if we have some base set of rules which are, it's not, again, you're not saying that you're going to punish a member for not doing it, but saying if someone else comes and edits that page, they have the right to edit that page because it is in this base set of rules.
I guess the question, and I think Simon touched on this, but correct me if I'm wrong, like, do we need those concrete rules, or is a set of guidelines enough? Like, because again, if we have rules, then that means staff, I guess, would enforce those, and I'm not sure if we have the bandwidth to do that. Like,
I mean, I think it's kind of like I kind of agree with what Dean is saying. Where it's not, I would say it's not like it's a little bit of the status quo, but a little different. Where it's like people can make their page in whatever ways they want, right? But I think if there are issues to make it hard the page to read, or maybe like, oh, this could be worded better. I think it's not necessarily like there are like rules in that like if you fail to do them you will get punished, or there's like it's rules in that like hey like this is just for like we're just having this here so you can know how it should be, just so like it can be easier for people who've never seen it before. I don't know how to describe it, but it's not like
let's use an example if we can. If someone makes a wiki page of their town and has stylized it in a way that isn't keeping with this style guide, and then we get into an edit conflict over yourself, Yoshi, who is saying it's not compliant with the style guide, and them who says actually I prefer it this way. Who takes primacy? Is it the page owner or is it the editing guide? Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I suppose maybe what I would propose is having, so if someone's made a page which doesn't load on Firefox, however, I don't know how they would have done that, but in a hypothetical where they had. If we had like a base set of very simple rules which are there purely for technical reasons or for language, that kind of thing, or accessibility, I think other members could then edit that page and point to those rules and say these are set in stone. You have to follow these rules on the Wikipedia page or the wiki page. Sorry, and then maybe we could also have a guideline like Yoshi's made, where it's things that don't necessarily impact the quality of the site, but would be nice to have. Where I think the owner of the page should be able to choose the things within the guideline that they want to follow, as long as they're following the base set of rules.
It doesn't really solve what Simon's saying, though. It's like when those, even if it's a guideline or as you say, Dana, a hard rule, what happens when the conflict happens? What if there's an edit war? Like Yoshi is.
I mean, I'm saying that Yoshi would then be able to go and make the change, and if the member disagrees with that, then Yoshi could, in theory, bring that up with staff and say, right, they're not following these base set of rules, which might be there for accessibility and technical reasons. So I suppose having a base set of rules would give Yoshi something to fall back on and say, this is set in stone, you can't go against this, maybe.
So rules and guidelines, you're saying rules, you edit the page and that is what a member must follow, albeit I don't think we'd ever get to the server warning stage, but that is that is what we enforce. But if it's a stylistic guide, then it's the page owner's prerogative. We'd like them to follow it, but it's the page owner's prerogative if they wish to break from it.
I think so, yeah. I mean, to be clear, you're not punishing people for not following the base set of rules, but you're giving other members the right to edit it. Like, they have something to back themselves up, I suppose.
Okay. I think we're losing some audience, but let's try to finish it off here.
Yeah, this is very specific. So I mean,
that's why it's a last topic. Yeah, sorry.
It's like it's for people who care about it. It's very specific. For people who don't care about it, like it's like Latin.
Simon Skelly is asking if his comment got read out. Did you get around to that at all?
I have not. Sorry, no. I've actually been polishing a set of shoes, so I haven't been looking at chat. My bad.
Oh, okay. I guess the question is, I don't think we can set up, unless you guys have ideas, like we can't set, you have no ideas of what should be a rule and what should be a guideline at this time, right? Because Yoshi just wrote this guide and...
This is the little hard thing, because the question is, where do you draw the line?
Correct.
Right? Because there are a lot of things here that are like technical that like make sense. For example, like flag should be named flag of blank, just because the flag template reads that only that file name. But there's other things that are like accessibility. For example, one of the things on here is talking about avoiding color in like random text. So for example, it could be like, this is a mayor town, kind of the mayor blue, just for people who may be colorblind and like readability and like significance issues. So that's like, does that count, or like where do you draw the line on that? And there's also using boxes in text, because that technically makes that seem more significant than other things, which is technically not true encyclopedic. So the question is, where do you draw the line on what is and what isn't?
And I don't think I'm pretty sure we can't decide that at this meeting, right? Because that's a lot of stuff. So how about do you guys want to? So who's involved with this process? I just want to make sure. So to be Yoshi, Light, is there anyone else? I guess it's a committee in a way, even though those have been worked before. But
I mean, HVT is the other person that edits a decent amount too. That's like the third person I can think of. Us three are probably the three that edit the most.
Okay, Hut's in there. So I guess, do we just let you three work it out and create something, find out what that line is, and then give it to send it to us at the next GSM or whenever you guys are ready? Like, does that sound like a plan?
Yeah, that could work. Yeah, my only main concern is just this is just for me, which is like, to be completely honest, I'm the only one that kind of wrote all this, and I kind of like, this is just a lot. So I'm just hoping that, like, you know, if we have to set this up, I hope we just at least get some more support on like making this, because like this is like, I don't know, it seems very, I don't know how to describe this, but like,
here's a question, Yoshi. Do you foresee, and I know it's a lot, but do you see parts of this or a lot of this to be controversial amongst people using the wiki, or do you just do regular edits or something?
Usually, I think that for most people, this topic does not matter to the manual, right? Like, if they make mistakes in the wiki, I just go fix them. Like, I think Minecraft 2252 would like say, you know, they're like, if see me fix an error, they're like, okay, that like usually makes sense. For the most part, this is like the very like trying to cover all bases, like kind of portion, if you get what I mean. Even though I don't think we've hit like close to most of these bases, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think most people are very grateful for when episodes do fix the page, because it is genuinely improving.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Just like a few cases we're just trying to cover, so it's not like this does not happen often, but it's just like realistic. It's a lot of work to like, you know, for like a few cases, maybe like once a year, if that makes sense.
But at the very least, if you have this written down, when you do, like right now, you're going off and making edits and then putting a reason. But at least if you have this thing, you can put in the reason and point to this thing. Say, this is what we agreed to. These are the guidelines of the wiki. This is what's set up. So you at least have a better defense in case someone complains or doesn't understand it, right? Fair. Right. So.
Yeah.
I mean, can I just ask as well then, I suppose, once this base set of rules or guideline, whatever we're going to call it, has been written, I guess would any future changes to that go through a GSM, or would they, like, what sort of system would we have in place to change those rules?
They're just a heads up, I guess. Like, I'm not sure if it needs a GSM, but cause I don't know if we want to make it so. I guess if it's a major change, like something big, like maybe a new, especially like if it's a new extension to the wiki, like the timeline thing that was added a few while back. That might be a good one to discuss in a GSM. But for like minor things, that's hard. I don't know if we want to bog down the GSM with little topics like that.
I mean, I guess will they be changing very often? I suppose we can't really know that yet. That be actually been written.
Yeah, that's probably a better question. How about we cross that? I guess what I just don't want to see is like, well, I don't know. Like, I do want at least a little bit of oversight on what the wiki, the changes are happening to those guidelines, but I'm not sure if it's worth our time to just go, like, because again, a lot of us don't even use the wiki that much, so we might not even understand it. So how about we cross that bridge when we get there?
You can always talk on the wiki channel, can't they, if they disagree with things?
That's actually then, yeah, just use the wiki channel. I think that's a better. Like, if you're planning to change something, just discuss on the wiki channel. Yeah, and that should be enough.
And also, are we still asking that that people editing the wiki contact